Sorry, Arian, I love you. I just can't think right now.
Julia's gone.
Village Kids.
Hi, this is Village Kids, a podcast hosted by four childhood best friends. My name is Julia.
My name is Erin.
I'm Annika.
And I'm Marga.
So, for today's episode, we're introducing a new segment called Purr It Out, where our conversations are unstructured and free-flowing. And for this episode, the first question, what is the unattainable dream? So, what do you really want to be, guys? Also, cheers to that.
Cheers.
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 Okay, so what are you guys drinking?
Are we matching?
Everyone's drinking soju, right?
No,
me.
I don't think. Are you drinking
Aaron,
soju, Aaron?
Aaron is drinking the booch.
For the gut health.
So I'm not feeling like drinking tonight. So I have tonic water and raspberries.
How about we start shallow? Like, what did you want to be when you were kids?
Okay.
Like your childhood dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a child, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I'm not even that fashionable.
But your sense of style is like so iconic. Like if you
It's
see
so
it, you're like,
Julia.
oh, it's
Yeah.
Julia
I
Brand.
would say you're fashionable.
What?
Yeah.
I'm here. Literally,
She's so
in
cool.
in my senior year of college, I was wearing a black shirt and joggers every day and sneakers.
Oh my gosh, you know what I remember from high school? You used to really like the skulls.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whenever
it
I
was
see
the
a skull,
OG.
I'm still like, oh, I should buy
rocker.
that for Julia.
Oh
I
my
still
gosh.
think that like Julia's style is very my elements brand of like punk rock and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like that's what all
Skater
the models
girl.
wear. That like rocker t-shirt type
Oh my
of
gosh,
all
band
black.
shirt? Yeah. So that was my childhood dream. What was yours?
So for me, so we're talking childhood dream, right?
Yeah.
For me, what I can remember really wanting to be first was like a singer. Like, oh my god.
Really?
Like,
I didn't know that.
I never
this
knew.
is like kindergarten dreams.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, started telling people that, oh, I want to be 5 different things
Mhm.
when I grow up. I want to be a singer, not just a singer anymore. I want to be a writer, an
Uh-huh.
artist, a lawyer,
What?
a doctor. Yeah.
I
Oh,
never
that's
knew.
awesome.
I thought you always wanted to be a surgeon.
Same.
That's like when I started watching Grey's Anatomy,
Okay.
which is really what honed it all in. Like, okay, no, I want to be a doctor because evidently, like, you can't be 5. I mean,
It's
maybe
hard.
you can,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's hard. The reality started to set in at grade 3, grade 4. That I want to become a doctor. And that's in large part to Grey's Anatomy. I'm sure I'm not the only person out there who was influenced by
Fired.
it. Yeah. So since then, like I've mostly stuck to that and continue to waver sometimes whether it's really what I want. I remember in high school thinking, oh, do I really want to be a doctor?
Mhm.
Or is it more like the drama in Grey's Anatomy that draws me to it? Because being a doctor is no joke.
Yeah. Especially now.
Oh, especially now. Yeah. I'm sure like there's so many things that you have to consider. If before it's the amount of time that you'll be putting towards work.
Mhm.
Like when can you start a family if you want to start a family?
Yeah.
Like time for myself and all that. Like it's definitely an ongoing discussion that I have in my head.
Hey, who wants to go next?
So my childhood dream, I've had quite a few, I'd say, but I don't remember all of them anymore.
Mhm.
I remember the longest one was I wanted to be a writer as well because
No way. Well,
You
yeah.
know that?
Well, as a kid,
Yeah,
I would always borrow books from you. I think I even still have your book. I've never returned them. So
I had a book
roses
card
are for me.
system. My library, you must be blacklisted now.
I've been blacklisted. Oh my gosh. I remember
Oh
when
my
you
God,
started
for
that.
real?
Oh, I mean from Aaron's library. Like I remember when she started that
really
system.
borrowing.
Yeah, and I remember drenching one of your books.
Yeah, I remember that book. It was
Yeah.
an Amelia book.
Oh,
Amelia?
It's right here.
Oh, no way.
yeah.
I wanted to be a writer because up until I think grade 6, I was this intense bookworm. Like I was that girl who during recess would sit on her armchair and just read. After wanting to be a writer, or like somewhere along there, I think my mom bought me this like big archaeology kit.
Oh my gosh.
have you
The
used
National
one of those?
Geographic toys.
I don't know, but it's like a brick.
Yeah.
The one where you get gems.
Yeah, and then you have to dig and then
Uh-huh.
get stuff from it.
Yeah.
So because of that, I wanted to be an archaeologist.
I did not
Oh,
know
I
about
never
that.
knew.
I totally copied you with that toy, by the way. After you got it, I was like obsessed. Like, I want that brick.
It's such
I
a
think I
good
did
toy.
too. I followed suit as well.
Anyway, so because of that, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Also because I really enjoyed history. Like I
Okay.
really like reading about history at that time. But like it also ties in with the whole wanting to read books and stuff because I think I read books like about Cleopatra, stuff like that. So I wanted to be an archaeologist and like find her tomb or something. I'm pretty sure I've had other dreams. I don't quite remember anymore. Those are the ones that stuck out to me the
I
most.
never knew you wanted to be an archaeologist.
Didn't you want to be an engineer?
Oh,
That's the phase that I remember.
yeah, okay. I did want to be an engineer at one point because actually my dad is an industrial engineer.
It's like management engineering, right?
Yeah, and like because he is IE, but he just generally likes learning more about different engineering topics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like because of that, he's so good at doing stuff around the house and like whatever he wants to fix, like he really goes in depth. Like he really researches so much. And because of that, I was like, wow, I kind of want to be an engineer too.
Since no one asked me. So I had dreams too. I mean, I think it's really clear to me in growing up, I was so into like westernized TV. I grew up watching Disney and Nickelodeon. I really wanted to be an actress, like hands
No
down. That
way.
was such a yeah, I wanted to be an actress. If I could sing, I'd be like those actresses
How did I never know?
who sing
Like
and
musical
dance and
actress.
no, like I wanted to be like on TV. Like
Okay.
I wanted to be on Disney. I wanted to do the Disney Channel thing.
Okay.
I just really liked it. Like the idea that I'd be creating something that people would be
Enjoy.
watching. And like I mean that's something I enjoyed. I mean, I think that was like my idea before, like, oh, people do that for a living and they start really young. And then I mean, yeah, I liked school, but I didn't really get to like school as much as I do now back then. I think the fact that I saw people who were like children already on TV and doing something that it looked really fun. Like I was like, oh, I want to do that too. But the caveat is that we live in the Philippines, so Tagalog. Like I mean, I wanted to
Don't
be an
believe
actress,
it.
but not by that much. Like not enough to learn the language by heart the way that all telenovela actresses are because that's intense. I guess for some people they grew up, speaking the language, so I guess it's easier for them. For me, it was kind of a deal breaker. That was my first love, the idea of like being one of those. But then I kind of felt like, oh, never mind, I'll find something else.
So it was Tagalog that was the hurdle for you. I never knew you
um,
wanted to be an actress in the Philippines.
I mean, okay, if I could have done it in the States, like tried,
That's what,
that would have
yeah.
been great. But then I was like, oh, could I do it here? And then parang I thought about it. Like I was like, I'd spend summers kasi in Manila with my dad, right? And then parang I think it was like an internal thing. It was either that or I wanted to be like a Milo sport
Oh my
athlete.
Oh
god.
The
my
one on the
god.
the one on the Milo, like I wanted
Uh-huh.
so
What
I was like
sport
thinking,
are you?
What
What
if I was
sport?
sport?
okay, so I thought of so many things that I could be. I was like,
Dancing,
I could be an
actually.
ice skater, but I
I
suck.
could see you do that.
It
I
was
can
just like
see you
such
ice
a
skating too.
yeah, but I just can't. Like, I mean, I think it's like in theory it looks great. Like I can do it, but it just doesn't happen. And then I thought of, oh, I could be a gymnast. I just never really committed to it. But I think as I grew up, like I started watching other types of things and then I realized my dreams were more attached to my wanderlust, like the idea of traveling. So I like similar to Erin, I wanted to be an archaeologist because I also liked history, but also I like the idea of traveling, like going to Egypt. There were all of those games that we grew up playing online, and then it was just so like they're cartoon games, but it's like of people who are like archaeologists, or I even wanted to be a marine biologist at a certain point because I love the sea and I love the idea of just being out there in the ocean.
Yeah, I
Didn't
think
you want to be a
really
mermaid at one point?
Okay, yes, if that were a job, I would definitely do that, Erin. But yeah, I think those are my childhood dreams. It was only later on that I started developing something else. But I definitely wanted to be someone who was like not necessarily just in one place.
Yeah.
I think that I never really saw myself in an office type of thing. Like I wanted to just move around. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. Moving
Okay,
on.
fun fact. Did I ever tell you guys that I was recruited by Disney?
What?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I
That
feel
was
like
the
I
one. Like
remember this.
You remember this, Nick? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
When I left for the States, I was in Target with my sister. And then this one lady was following me for like a good 5 minutes. Not joking. I was so scared. Because she was watching me the whole time.
How old were you then?
8?
Grade 5.
Oh my
Was that
gosh.
grade 5?
This is grade 5. I don't know how old we were at grade 5.
Stranger danger.
Yeah,
11.
exactly.
You were
So,
11.
yeah, okay, so 11. So I was looking for my sister because I was so scared. And then when I saw my sister, the lady came up at the same aisle and she was like, "Oh, are you the mom of this girl? Because I'm from Disney and we were looking for Asian kids."
Oh
No!
my gosh.
That's
Jules, were
intro.
you supposed to be Wendy Wu's sister or something?
Oh
So yeah, that happened.
my gosh, that could have been you, Jules. Like,
I could have
you
met
were the
You could have
closest
been on Sweet
child
Life of Death.
thing.
I know. Oh my god, where's my
Could have met Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
I would daydream about Dylan Sprouse. He's my OG before Zac Efron.
Like, you thought he was, did you think he was cute when he was on
Yes.
Life?
Sweet Life. Yeah.
They
Like
looked so similar
Morgan
to me.
and
Like, how can you
I
tell the
had an
difference?
agreement of which twin we like.
Yeah, okay. I was Cole Sprouse
And I was Dylan Sprouse.
all the way until recently,
No,
because you know they have to.
you still Cole Sprouse. I'm Dylan Sprouse.
It's been discussed, Mars.
Agreement.
Predetermined.
Who do you like, Annika, between the two?
Oh, Dylan. Now, Dylan. But back then, I didn't think they were cute. Now, I think Dylan is obviously like superior to
Yeah, so why-
Cole.
I really liked Cody before though.
Who is Cody? Is that Cole?
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
Cole.
Okay. Jesse or Jake?
Oh, ooh,
Okay,
Sansa
I
was
went.
Artie's.
I went through the
Hannah
5 seasons.
Montana.
4 seasons. The Hannah Montana Forever. I made you guys watch that.
Yeah.
Because, oh my god, the best
Wait,
series
Margie,
ever.
is Jake the one who's like a pop star too?
He's an actor, but
That's
then in the end, he was like a cheater.
Who?
Yeah.
Jesse?
No, Jake cheated, ba?
Yeah, Hannah Montana Forever. Watch it. Best series
think
ender, guys.
At first, I like Jake.
Yeah, but then Jesse just turned out to be the guy
Yeah,
who shows
that's
up.
them.
I mean Jesse. Hello. Hello.
He's like
Same.
No
babe.
brainer for me.
He's
and he-
cute now, but I don't know. I don't know why I liked Jake before.
I think it was the history, like
Yeah.
with Jake and Hannah or Miley, like they just went through so much.
Yeah.
Whereas Jesse came in later on, but then definitely in the last season of the series, they really gave him more substance. There was backstory there. There was like more of a personality and character development, and I just felt that yes, this is the right person for
I
this.
can just see the passion in Margie's eyes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I feel this way. This is why I need to be in this sector of life.
The next question is the realistic dream.
Also, like how it ties to college, right?
Yeah.
Like what you took, why you took it.
Go, Joel.
Okay, so as a high schooler, I think y'all know I didn't really care.
Not just as a high schooler, Jules.
As a grade schooler, as a preschooler,
All my
as
life, I
a
didn't care about education until college, and especially now after I graduated. Oh my gosh, I miss school so much. Like a month.
oh how the tables have turned, my
know.
friend.
You guys remember me messaging you guys like, oh my god, I feel like you won't believe me, but I really miss college. So anyways, yeah. So back in high school, um, I always knew that I'd fall into like business because my family is really into business, and I always knew like at the end of the day I'd always go back to our family business to help out my dad. My life was pretty dictated to taking a business course. My dad's here in the next room. I love you if you could hear me, but yeah. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I took entrepreneurial management. Thank you, Marga. I took entrepreneurial management for 4 years. You know, everything happens for a reason. I ended up liking my course about social entrepreneurship. There was a crossroad of things that I know I could do in my future. Like I wanted to help people for one, and then I was sure that at the end of the day I would always go through business. So I learned so much about like the corporate responsibility of like giving back. Their main focus is not the return of money, but it's about helping people. That's really my motivation more than just the business. And so yeah, that's when I kind of enjoyed my course. At this point of my life, I do want to be a social entrepreneur. That's it.
Related to Joya, I feel like we're on a very similar path
Yeah.
because my family's also heavily into business. So like everyone is in my family, there's only one who's in science and she's a dentist.
Mhm.
Just one. One. Everyone else is in business.
And technically, healthcare is also a business because you have your own. You have to set up your own clinic and ganun.
Yeah, so technically business. Okay, Chinese, you get it.
Yeah. Chinese family. Growing up in Chinese families, guys.
So like yeah, I think I was heavily influenced by my family too, but I guess opposite from Julia, I actually wanted to become a business woman kind of. So like in high school, I'd like buy and sell small things.
Mm.
I remember buying Korean pens, the really cute pens and stationery, and then I'd sell them to my classmates, or I'd upcycle old jewelry and then I'd, craft it up and then sell it again. So I was really into business even before. It made sense for me going into college to apply for business course. But, I guess business is so general. Like you can take any course and still go into business, right? So
True.
it's more of choosing make the most sense going into business. So
Yeah.
I actually applied for management engineering in Ateneo business course, and I also applied for business administration and accountancy in UP. And I guess talking to my sister took up ME in Ateneo, and I remember talking to her and being super conflicted because up until that point, I remember knowing from high school that I was for sure going to Ateneo.
And she got in, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is
But
like the top whatever course.
But then when the results for UP came out, I was so shocked because I didn't think I'd get in the course, BAA. BAA is what my mom took, by the way.
No way!
Yeah.
I knew she was from UP, but I never knew she took the same course.
Yeah. So obviously, when the results came out, my mom was like, BAA is the way to go. But I was like, I knew she was biased. So I tried to ask another biased person, my sister, who took ME in Ateneo. I was like, what do you think? And I didn't get the answer that I was expecting. She was like, you have to take BA and because as someone who took ME in Ateneo, she said that she felt like a lot of the skills she learned there you could eventually learn by yourself going into business. It was like, might as well get a double degree so that the accountancy part, it's very specialized. I don't know how to explain it, but she was like, the accountancy part is what will set you apart from other business courses. So I was like, that makes sense because what if my business fails? I can still practice accountancy, work as an accountant. So I was like, okay, good because I have a fallback just in case it doesn't work out for me. So that's when I went into it and I hated it. I hated
your course.
Yeah.
I didn't know you hated it.
I did not know that
Well, but then
either.
again, we weren't talking for like a good 2 years.
I mean, but guys, just so you know, she is a CPA.
Yep. She passed the
She
boards.
passed. She may hate it,
In
but
that
she can
year,
still do
it's
it.
really hard.
Yeah.
You took it that time, right? The
It's
passing
not
rate was
easy to pass.
super low.
What?
You took your board exam that year when the passing rate was super low, right?
Yeah, that specific exam.
I'm so proud of my friends,
Thank
guys.
Yo.
But anyway, yeah, I hated it because I don't know, it was just so mechanical, I'd say. I'm sorry, accountants would say that it is not and that it requires a lot of human decision making. But I hated it. And then I think from third year onwards, it was more of just getting it over with. I already invested so much time into this. And if I switch to BA without the accountancy, I may still be delayed. And, I didn't trust my own business sense either to just go into BA. I really felt like I needed that accounting part to, make it.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, because of that, because I was in that course, I think there's this one class where we took like a field trip to GK, Gawad Kalinga. I was exposed to social entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And it's not just having a business and donating your proceeds. Like it could be done in so many ways. Like you
Yeah.
could hire people that need those
Needed
jobs.
help.
Yeah, like giving women jobs, and like providing them jobs that allow them to work from their homes, or it's
Yeah,
like there's so
exactly.
many ways to help. And I
Mhm.
didn't realize it until I went there and saw it. I was like, wow, it really is possible.
It's really an eye opener. I regret not going.
Next time we can go together, guys.
Yeah, I'm so game. If you guys are going, let's do it.
It was really nice also. And I think, another one was, I think I read this article about Grameen Bank. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
It's a microfinancing institution.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I don't recall which country, but it's a microfinancing institution that
Help.
lend to women, I think. And so basically it's empowering these women who normally can't get loans from normal banks.
Banks.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so side note, we have that in the Philippines. So if you guys want to help like farmers, you could check out cropital.com or .ph. Just Google it. We all need it, especially now.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on.
Can I just say I love how like Julia was able to pull that out, like
I
even
know.
though she's drunk. Like it was just like
That
if you
love.
ever question her empathy, even when she couldn't form a sentence, she'll just easily, you know, slide it in there. Donate here now.
I feel like the microfinancing institution is such a great tool because it's not directly giving them money. Like it's not like a donation. It's like you invest money in them so that they have the power to grow their own business.
And the financial literacy that they learn throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in line with that, also because of my Oregon College JFA Junior Finance Association, I was opened up to this whole world of advocating for financial literacy, and like it's from there where I realized that so many Filipinos are financially illiterate, and like having just one talk, or like just talking to a random person that you meet, like about how being financially literate can help them so much with their present status. I feel like definitely helping people and more of empowering them to make their own decisions, or like empowering them with the knowledge, I feel like is definitely a really big I have no words for this.
Impact or help for them.
Yeah. And I guess from kind of realistic, like I want to help in that sense, like empowering them.
Yeah, she's helped us with so much.
Yes, she's made us more
We
financially
had this
literate.
Zoom
Yeah.
call. We're just
So
teaching
if you
us how
want
to
to book
budget
her,
everything.
her services.
Okay, feel free to ask me anything for free.
Yeah.
And if I don't know the answers, I could always just ask my other friends that are also
Send us
really
like
eager to help.
what do you call this? In Anchor, you could send us voice messages or just DM us on Instagram.
Actually, a really good resource is that org that I was a part of. They have a lot of really good talk. We started this thing called Investment Month before. We have this yearly, I don't know if they still have it, but we used to have this yearly summit, and the topics there used to be like, it would range from personal finance to like business to trading, investing to cryptocurrencies, like
Oh,
fintechs. JFAs, they have really good talks about anything finance generally. So yeah, I guess because of all of those experiences I had in college, I can't put it into like one profession, but generally I would like to empower other people. Is That's what I'm saying.
So realistic dreams, right?
yeah.
No? Okay. I guess going back to what I said earlier, how I had so many dreams like when I was
As a kid.
younger, that theme kind of continued on in a way. Like, yes, I honed in on wanting to pursue like something in the medical field, but there was always a part of me that questioned that if that was the only thing I wanted to do. And I remember I'm a really indecisive person. I remember back in high school, people are starting to already like ask like what course would you want to do in college? I remember seeing people who were so sure, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a graphic designer, whatever. I didn't have that same like certainty in my mind. It's like, oh, I don't want to just be one thing. People would say like, oh, like pick what subjects you're most interested in high school. And for me, that was science and business. So I guess similar to Julia and Erin, the lure of business. I think such a common feeling. Maybe it's a Filipino Chinese thing.
It runs deep in our
Attracted
veins.
to the money.
Beans.
Yeah, like so actually like Erin mentioned that she was selling stuff in grade school. I had like a similar experience, Rin. I would sell stickers.
Yeah, I think I remember this.
And like during break time. And then it's not pala allowed.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I was with you, Nick, when one
We got
was
caught.
it the teacher who told us like, oh, you're not allowed.
Shout out Miss Heidi.
Oh my gosh, you remember?
You're selling your drawings also.
Okay, before that, yeah, I was selling drawings for like 5
And
pesos.
nerds candies. She would repackage them.
Entrepreneur.
There's the candy store na kiosk at the mall, and I remember they sold like this jumbo nerd. And my dad, I remember him mentioning like, oh, why don't you sell that? And I was like, you know what, why not? And then so I'd go to school with the pack of nerds and ice candy plastic
Yeah.
and a spoon, and then I'd pour the nerds in the spoon, and then 1 spoon is 1 peso. It was actually a good source of income. I remember opening a bank account when I was grade 1, and my dad
Wow.
the concept of like
You opened a
profit and cost.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think I made up to something like 2,000, and I was just like, oh
No
my gosh, this is so amazing! Like I have my money. And from there, like business has been in and out of my life. The stickers and then the drawings. I charge people for after I would sell them drawings. I'd be like, oh, I can teach you how to draw, but 5 pesos. I don't know where I got my balls to the balls to do that. Like,
But you
I
were
got
really
you. I
great
can teach
artist.
you.
Who would have thought of making Sims on paper? That was like
Ah.
the best.
I feel like that's all born out of the fact that I was never bored with you guys. Like we'd always find something to do. Like
do.
Sims, for example. That whole thing came up because I couldn't find a good pirated copy of Sims.
We couldn't afford Sims.
We couldn't afford Sims at
there's-
that age.
Buying the actual Sims was not even in like on the table. It was all about finding the best pirated copy, which never ever worked. So then I'd be
True.
impatient and be like, okay, let's just do it on paper. So even like creativity and business, and there were just so many things that I was interested in, and I didn't want to be locked in. And so in high school, I was conflicted between something in the humanities, business, or science. Because at the time, I was also really
I
interested
never
in
knew
like
you were into
films.
humanities, Nick.
I
Yeah.
really loved social studies in high school.
In business, you also have to be creative.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. When I applied for college, I picked science and then business as my second. But when I got into science, I found this other program which allowed me to do a dual degree. So it's called Masters in Management, and taking those business courses for my master's alongside my undergraduate degree. And even my undergrad degree, I couldn't pin myself down to one discipline. So my degree is integrated science. You can pick 2 or 3 different disciplines, create your own degree. For the most part, I still feel that way now. Like, oh, in the real world, people who, like you guys, you had your degrees, but you also ended up interested in social entrepreneurship, and there's no one path. And to just remain open is so important. Whatever my passions are,
Yeah.
and just bring it into whatever that job is. For me, something that I realized while taking my management course, like, yes, I want to become a doctor, but also it's important to not just pick the career because I imagine myself being a doctor. You have to think of what are your priorities also. Like, what do you look for in a job? And then pick what the options are from there. So that's kind of how I arrived to where I'm at.
For full disclosure, I think my realistic dreams, like they're still in the process of being made, similar to what Julia was talking about, like it's ever becoming something else.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I wanted to be so many different things, and I have many reasons as to why I let go of being an actress, of being of letting go of being a marine biologist. Spoiler, I get seasick. Oh, there's just so many things, right? Similar to Annika and to you guys, like we have similar themes as to what we want to be. I had this dream of wanting to help people. It was a very humanitarian way of looking at it. Like I wanted to work in NGOs. I saw my mom as well doing so much in her life, my lolo and everything that he did. I wanted to be a doctor for a very long time actually. And I went into my course believing that I was going to be a doctor because I felt that that was the way, that was the only way to achieve what I wanted to do, which was to contribute to the health sector. And wow, college definitely knocked that out of me now. But in the best way possible. Similar to Erin, I had that love hate relationship with my course. I loved it because it introduced me to so many different things. This world of development, of public health, and just knowing that the health sector is more than just clinician, that you can work in it and be a filmmaker. You can actually influence people's decisions to make better health choices in life based on a commercial like Jollibee. You know, like there's so many ways you can go into it. And I'm not the most creative person, so that's not my end. But then I think something that I've learned with my job is that I get to work with all those types of people. I get to work with people who are coming from a more political angle, and they're able to create all of these movements in health, especially needed during this time. And I'm so passionate about that, not necessarily because I do it, but because I see why it works, you know? And there are people who are more inclined to research, there are more people who are inclined to this and that. And honestly, like if I were to say suntok sa buwan, what I want to do, I've realized, ironically, also into management. Like I think that's a very funny way of saying it because growing up I didn't think I wanted to, like I was so far from it. I hated business. I had my own business, guys, with a team. I did it for a year, lost money. Like I had a food stall, like an actual thing with taxes and all of that, and I realized, oh my god, this is not for me. Okay, take it away. I'm done. Thank you for teaching me this lifelong lesson that I am not a business owner. It also made me realize coming into this job that just because I don't like business, like having my own business, doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like management. Because that's another thing also. The skills I've learned to appreciate it, project management, getting things working, the operations of it all, and just how things work together to create something. And I mean, that's central to anything in life. But I guess the only thing I've ever really been sure of is that I want to work in health. The thing that really got me through college was knowing that even if I hated science, and by the way, I took health sciences, that's so funny. I had so many people question me that, how can you not like science? You're literally taking bachelor of science, major in health sciences. Do you know how stupid that sounds? But have you met organic chemistry?
I know her too. We ain't
Yeah,
friends.
exactly. But again, I feel like it was the process. Going through those years in college and realizing that it's not just because I'm not a good student. It was because I was forcing myself into a box that I wasn't necessarily okay with just forcing myself in. Like there's a whole universe of things that you can do to contribute to whatever goal you have set for you. And that's something I've been grateful for. My professor, people I work with every day, they've consistently taught me that you don't need to come from a health sciences or any related major to care about an advocacy, care about the sexual reproductive health of like women in Mindanao. You know, like there's so many issues issues in this world, and there's so many ways to contribute. It's just empowering also, because you feel that, okay, I didn't need to be an expert in science to be able to contribute to the end goal of making the world a better place. And I know that's still an idealistic way of seeing it. I'm still in the process of becoming more of a realist every day. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy in this case. As I mentioned, as a disclosure before this whole monologue, no, I'm still in the process of figuring out what exactly my dream is here. But I do know that when I started college, my entrance interview to my course, my answer was along the lines that I want to go into this course because if we were in a train and you were to collapse, I wouldn't want to be useless. Like, I would want to be able to help you. Like, and that's in any case in life. Like, I would want my being there to be worth something and to be able to do something about it. Like, in any situation. And I feel like that's ever evolved. Like, there's so many concepts that people try to shove down your throat. The idea of what heroism is, and maybe it's not the best way of going about life, but I could talk forever about it. But what I'm saying, I guess, is that I'm content in this uncertainty because at least for a certain percentage of it, I'm certain that I'm in the right track. And my dream is to hopefully have that at least like sliver of an idea that I want to contribute, that I want to help without losing my entire life. So that's my hopefully realistic enough dream.
Okay, I'm gonna bring on the cheese, but have you guys heard of this quote na, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
I have an answer to that.
Okay.
I'm ready. I think I'd work in the UN. I had this dream. I wanted to become a doctor because I felt like that was my pathway towards working in the UN. And now I'm trying to build that pathway on my own without being a doctor because I feel like these are the skills that I want to create. And if I'm going to put in the years, I want to put in the years to get certain skills that I feel will be needed. To me, it was always just like a clear thing. I wanted to work in the UN because I've always believed in humanitarian effort. I feel for disaster risk reduction. I've I've done that since 2015. Like, I've always felt for that. And then the whole idea of melding the development sector, international development, as well as like health. I've just always felt like that was the environment that I wanted to be in, like, so strongly. But I feel like also it's such a huge climb. It's such a, so if it ever does actually
Ambassador
happen.
for the youth for UN.
I was a Filipino ambassador for the Youth Assembly.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
start, Margie. You got this.
She's had her foot in the door in talaga. Like, you've literally spoken at the UN.
Is it actually unattainable, Margie?
we shall see.
Got this.
We're right behind you.
Okay, who's next?
I want to be a social entrepreneur, but like that's a very vague description. I don't know in what way I would want to help the people, but it's really just that.
For me, like, as soon as you mentioned unattainable dream, like, I don't know why, the first thing talaga that I think of is to be a surgeon. Even though that's the field that I want to get into, there's still a part of me that's always like, oh, is it in the cards for me? Do I have what it takes? And part of me wants to say, like, yes, I have what it takes, but it's also a complete oversimplification of the road there. And ideally, be able to go down that path. Like, it's gonna be maybe 10 or 12 years before I finally get to that destination. And I know, like, there's no such thing as work-life balance, really. You have good days, you have bad days, and it's like net na lang na you hope the net is positive. But ideally, I'd like to be able to go through those 12 years and not have missed out on so much life, or not feel like I've missed out. Like, I want to still be able to see my friends and family. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have to sacrifice anything. That's the thing, and that's why it's unattainable. Because to be able to get there,
You're
it
gonna
will
have to
require
sacrifice a lot of
sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I guess besides that, I keep going back to the when I was like grade 1 or kinder and wanting 5 different things. I want to be a surgeon, but I also want to be able to do all of the other things that bring me joy. Like, I want to help people, but I also want to be able to fill my cup in other ways, if that makes sense.
Super unattainable. I guess unattainable and what I would do if I can't fail. Answering both questions, I would lay down like structures that would just make the world a better place. Creating something for other people that once I'm not there anymore, they can still continue to live well. For example, I'm a boss in a business. But if I leave, it wouldn't make sense for the business to continue that once I leave, the other people in the business don't know how to run it. So I want to be like that kind of person that lays down the structure, and then once I leave, everything goes fine, like smoothly without.
Like, create something sustainable that will outlive you.
For example, like all of the disaster brought by the typhoons, right? I lay down a structure that make our cities indestructible by flood, strong wind. And then once I leave, even if typhoons come and go, it will be fine because basically all of the disasters prevented. So yeah.
Wow, we've talked about so much and we've gotten lost along the way, but it's been fun. Hope for the people listening that we're also thrown to all of these different tangents that
Kind of wish you guys are a little bit tipsy.
yeah, so you can interpret what we're saying and the intent. But yeah, I feel like I learned a lot from today about you
Same.
guys that I never knew, like different careers and career aspirations that I never expected you guys to say. Like Erin throwing me on a loop to be an archaeologist.
I know,
I didn't know we
exactly.
were thinking
I
of
never
seriously.
knew.
I love that we're all still rediscovering different things about ourselves and seeing the different elements in all of these interests that we had and how that related back to the things that we're interested in now. In a way, there's like a theme going on in each of our lives of this self-discovery. It's just been really interesting to hear everyone's journey to get to where they're at today. So that being said, I think cheers to that. I think all of our cups are empty at this point.
Yeah.
Yup. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
To that.